Baseball is the most important thing in my life. You know, since the age of 6, that's all I've ever known, and as far back as I can remember, that's all I've ever done, and that's what I wake up for.
When Brandon MacArthur started playing high school ball in Sefner, Florida, it was clear that he was a gifted athlete.
He has the great instincts for the game, and that's something you can't teach.
After a stellar senior year batting .419, the first-team All-State player was drafted in 2003 by the Minnesota Twins.
I heard that they had drafted me in the 5th round. It was an unbelievable feeling. That's what I wanted to do.
Wanting only the best for her son, Brandon's mother insisted he go to college.
He was under 21 years of age, and he needed a parental signature, and I wouldn't sign the papers.
While many colleges recruited Brandon, he chose to play for the SEC powerhouse Florida Gators.
He was a stud coming out of high school, and he had everything going for him.
He had what we refer to as great field presence, that he was always thinking through the game.
In fall practice, it was clear to everyone that Brandon was an extraordinary talent. Then, on a casual night out with friends, everything suddenly changed. Brandon was at a local bar with a teammate. As their night ended, they headed for home.
And this girl, you know, that he was talking to in the bar comes running around chasing after him.
Brandon stopped to talk to her when all of a sudden a stranger came from behind and, in an unprovoked attack, struck him in the head.
And this guy just come out of nowhere, just sucker punch him with his left hand. And hits Brandon, punches him, you know, and immediately Brandon's knocked out and he falls straight down, head slams into the concrete.
Brandon was rushed to the emergency room, bleeding and barely conscious.
When he initially showed up, he was able to wake up in bed within a relatively short period of time. He wasn't talking. He was deteriorating before our eyes.
Brandon had a subdural hematoma, a traumatic head injury that required emergency surgery. His parents, teammates, and coaches gathered at the hospital, anxiously wondering if Brandon would pull through. He survived through the night, but was clinging to life.
When I seen him, he was intubated. The other side of his head was shaved. It was just his body was laying there.
The surgery, however, did not stop the bleeding, and so the pressure on his brain continued to build.
Without some sort of intervention, it was clear that he was going to die. No question.
Brandon was immediately rushed back into surgery. Days earlier, Brandon had been living a dream. Now he lay unconscious. After 7 days, he awoke to a startling new reality.
He didn't know where he was, what had happened to him. He could hardly speak because of being intubated for so long.
Brandon had lost more than 30 pounds. 5% of his brain had been removed. He had no short-term memory. He didn't even know how to walk. While most would be sidelined by such an injury, Brandon chose another path, that of struggle. He refused to live his life without baseball. He started by tossing a ball with his high school coach.
I didn't think he'd ever play baseball again. I was like playing with an 8-year-old.
And it wasn't pretty. It was really tough, learning the game again.
Less than a month after the injury, Brandon started a rigorous physical therapy program.
I started to go through physical therapy with Larry Mayo, and 3 days a week was war. I was weak. There were times when I still couldn't walk straight.
The most frustrating thing that I saw was when we went to swing a bat. That's when I saw the first mental anguish or concern on his face, because he didn't remember how.
Progress was excruciatingly slow and painful. And then, a breakthrough.
It was the first time he saw a curveball. And he hit it. Because then he knew. Because that's hard. It's hard for a baseball player to do.
He was on his way, working out every day. Extra swings, extra grounders. Finally, 16 months after the attack, Brandon MacArthur was ready to take the field for his first baseball game ever at Florida.
I think for all of us it was a grand re-entry.
That first night brought tears to my eyes to look back at everything and everything that I'd been through.
he got a big standing O and from all of our fans, and that was incredible to see that because he deserved, he deserved that more than anyone else in the world.
Of all the patients that I've treated with subdural hematomas, his is the most remarkable recovery I've ever seen.
Brandon was back, starting 60 games at third base, emerging as a team leader, Florida winning the SEC, and with it, a trip to the College World Series. Nearly 2 years before, he was relearning how to walk and talk. Now, Brandon MacArthur was in Omaha at the College World Series. Florida faced off against Texas in the finals. In the last game, Brandon had 2 of his team's 6 hits in a losing effort. Brandon's inspirational run had affected everyone.
How he came back, inspires me to go out and play this game with no worries.
Brandon cannot taste or smell and must take anti-seizure medication. And despite all of his challenges, his relentless determination is unmatched.
I never gave up. I heard just take baby steps, and that I wasn't about that. I don't look back and I regret things that I gave up on or that I didn't do. I just want to be the best player I can be.